There's a big reason why your thoracic outlet syndrome isn't going away, and it has nothing to do with weak muscles. So why are your doctors always giving you exercises? Well, to keep it simple, your doctor is a specialist in their field. Think about this for a second, right? When you go to the doctors, the general doctors, they're going to point you in different directions to specialties that they think is going to help you. You have eye doctors, knee doctors, hand doctors, all these different types of doctors, which includes physical therapists. Physical therapists are nothing but specialists in physical exercise. And don't get me wrong, we absolutely need a physical therapist in order to help us prevent our pain. But the key word here is prevent. Weak muscles don't create pain, they create instability in joints and other issues, which then creates pain, right? And that creates other issues. And if those muscles were stronger and able to stabilize everything, then you may not have any pain. But the point here is that weak muscles are not the reason for your pain. They help prevent the pain, which makes you question now, what is the reason for your pain? And the answer isn't weak muscles, it's tight muscles. You see, tight muscles are the biggest reason for your thoracic outlet syndrome because it is what they tell you is happening, right? TOS is a compression problem on the nerves and blood vessels in the thoracic region. Well, compression is caused by muscles shortening and getting tighter for most of the part, right? Or it's by super stretched out and tight muscles. But the point here is that strengthening the weaker muscles in the back, for example, in order to help stabilize the body and pull those joints out of place and stretch out those muscles, that's not going to help if the problem is tight muscles to begin with in the front of the body. And the little cherry on top here is that it's these tight muscles that also creates these weak muscles, because there is a agonist antagonist relationship here where when one muscle shortens, the other one lengthens. When one muscle gets tight, the other muscle gets weak. You can easily see this in the biceps and the triceps, quads and hamstrings. All muscles play some kind of role or have a specific other muscle that partners with it to create this agonist-antagonist relationship. And this is what happens when you have TOS. All these muscles get short and tight, so they try to strengthen the other muscles to help prevent that from happening. But again, this will not work, or at least it won't work for at least 3 to 6 months if you don't address the tight muscles to begin with. And I want to be clear here, just because the muscle's tight does not mean it's stronger. A muscle can be shortened and locked in that position thanks to the fascia around it and trigger points in it. Trigger points are just small little hyper-irritable spots in the muscle that either creates pain locally or can create referral pain in other areas. And the way it creates that referral pain and that pain in general is because the fascia around it gets locked up, and because fascia connects the whole body together from foot to head, arm to arm and all that. When that gets tight, it pulls on the rest of the fascia lines, which then creates your pain. A very common example of this is actually the pec major having trigger points, which then pulls on all the tissues, creating tension and nervy pain, burning pain in your hands and all that anytime you use them. And when you don't work on the fascia and only focus on the muscles, then that fascia is just going to constantly get tighter and tighter, get stronger and stronger, which then creates more issues down the road. It's not that you get pain as you get older, it's just that the fascia finally gets tight and restrictive, which then creates your pain and even bad posture. So the whole point here is that the number one reason for your thoracic outlet syndrome has to do with short and tight muscles, most likely created by trigger points and fascia restrictions. And it's these trigger points and fascia restrictions that's also making the muscles in your upper back, in your neck and all that weak as hell. There are studies that show you can release the fascia, and when you do, other muscles, like the traps, for example, can actually get stronger. So this is why if you want to actually get rid of your TOS, or at least feel some immediate relief, you have to start off by releasing the tighter fascia, the tighter tissues, before you go into those exercises. You have to loosen the tight side, strengthen the weaker side to balance it out. You can't just expect to do exercises every day, because these muscles are going to constantly get tight thanks to bad posture, thanks to everyday habits, because this is just simply unavoidable. We have to use these muscles every day for our jobs, for our work, for anything we do. So it's inevitable that these muscles will get shorn and tight. The fascia around it will get shorn and tight. And if you're not constantly working out, which is very difficult these days for a lot of us, then those muscles will become tighter than the back, leading to weakness, tightness, and TOS pain. Now, if you actually want to start learning how to release all those tight muscles and the fascia restrictions, make sure to check out the video up in the top corner. I also have a brand new program out that helps you go through all this in only 10 minutes a day. The link for that is in the description below.